Hey everyone, Talina here, and today we're going to look at how to get a gold medal on the Iron Docks challenge mode. For this first pull, you're going to want to pull the group directly in front of you and the group of tacticians to the right. You're also going to want to pull the patrolling Battlemaster. I would recommend pre-potting and using some cooldowns to AoE down this group quickly. The technicians drop pools of oil on the ground. You're going to want to move out of these quickly or you're going to be stunned for a few seconds. Once we have finished off this first group, we're going to pull the 2 foot soldiers to our left and the group of 3 in the middle and AoE them down together. Next we're going to pull the group with Champion Druna, and we're going to pull the last remaining tactician to our right. Druna will occasionally call down a volley of arrows that does a fair bit of damage and leaves patches of fire on the ground. We then pull Battlemaster Olgar and the group behind him. You want to be careful not to pull the 2 foot soldiers in the middle of the room, as you don't need those for kill count. Olgar does a nasty cleave, so if you have any melee in the group, they're going to want to be careful of that. Once this group is almost dead, we pull the remaining tacticians in the corner and finish AoEing everything down. The first boss is Flashrender Nak'tar. He is pretty much the same as his heroic version. We chose to use heroism on this first boss and focus down Dreadfang. The 2 main things you need to watch out for on this boss are the burning arrows, which you will simply need to move out of, and the reckless provocation, which Nak'tar will cast on himself. If you hit him while he has this active, you will be feared for 8 seconds. Once Nak'tar is dead, we had everybody mount up and our tank run ahead. Our tank aggroed the 2 Ogron and pulled them in front of the Iron Stars at the back. We used the Iron Stars to kill the Ogron and clear down a path on the right side of the room. The next pull is with 3 patrolling Grom Guard deckhands. We chose to pull these by themselves, but if you have a Death Knight in your group, you may want to use Army of the Dead here and pull them with the Ogron patrol in front. We made sure to hold the Ogron out in front of the boxes while our tank stayed safely behind. The barrage that Skulloc does will do a lot of damage to these enemies. When it was safe to move, we ran behind the next set of boxes and pulled the mobs out into the open so that they were hit by the barrage. When this group was mostly dead, we pulled a single Ogron over to us. This last group is a little harder to position. We had our Boomkin typhoon them out from behind the boxes. The second boss consists of 3 enemies, and it is pretty much the same as its heroic version. Warlock the caster is going to be your primary target. She constantly casts Blood Bolt on the tank, and this is interruptible. Occasionally she's going to cast Sanguine Sphere on the boss with the lowest health. You'll need to stop all DPS on that target that has the shield on them. If you break the shield, everyone is going to be healed for about 60%, and you're probably going to cost yourself a gold. The next target is Nisa Nox. You'll throw a ring of traps around a player constantly throughout the encounter. They are pretty easy to avoid. You also throw a bomb towards a player. When it lands, you have a few seconds to move away from it before it explodes. Markog is the final target. He does a flaming slash where he charges out in a direction, cleaving all enemies in his path. He also does a lava sweep ability where he fires 2 staggered waves of fire at a player. These are fairly easy to avoid. If you can avoid breaking the Sanguine Sphere, you should have little trouble downing this encounter. At this point, we already have our mob kill count. I'm going to soulstone our druid and we're going to run straight to the next boss's room and die. We rezzed everyone and buffed back up, and now we're going to pull the third boss, Oshir the Saberon. I recommend pre-potting on this boss, but not using a potion during the encounter. That way you'll have it available for the final boss. Oshir does the ability Rending Slashes, where he charges in a direction, damaging anyone in his path. The boss is going to charge to the first cage, releasing wolves. These wolves have no threat table. We simply stun them and AoE'd them down. He also does the ability Time to Feed, where he pounces on a player, dealing damage and pinning them in place. Once you deal about 8% damage to the boss, the ability will stop. The second cage contains a Rylak that will constantly spit poison on the ground. We decided to kill it because it has very little health and the poison can get out of control quickly. The last boss is Skulloc. We used Heroism right on the pull and focused down Skulloc. We pretty much ignored Koramar. We wanted to get Skulloc down quickly because every Grand smash that he does knocks you to the back of the room and costs you time. Ideally, you don't want to get more than 2 smashes during this encounter. After he does the smash, Skulloc will start firing a barrage of rockets at you. Like the trash you did earlier, you'll need to take cover behind the crates. You want to get someone into melee range as quickly as possible to get him to stop casting the barrage. Once Skulloc is down, we focus down Koromar and then Zogosh. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please follow us on YouTube and head on over to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/sigilgaming for our live streams.